please convey our appreciation to the Secretary of State. Brent.
Good afternoon. Thank y'all for allowing me to be here today. I always feel like every time I speak, I have to start off apologizing. First off, because Secretary Merrill can't be here is why I'm here. So you're left with the D team, okay? I'm sorry for that. He is actually in Indianapolis today with a group of Secretaries of State around the country. As y'all know, President Trump decided to send us a letter. So apparently Ralph had to answer about 1,000 calls this week dealing with whether we're going to give our voter rolls to President Trump. The answer today is no. We're not. So that's the answer. That usually shortens my phone calls when I say no. And they say, well, how do you know? And I said, I promise you that I helped draft that letter that went back, and I know the answer is no. So we also asked some further questions along with that. Just real quickly, we did ask, why does political party matter? Why does race matter? And why does a felony history matter? Those are three things that don't matter when it comes to voter fraud. Okay, if you're looking at voter fraud and really doing this, that doesn't matter. So that's three things that we asked back to this commission, and Chris Kobach, Kansas Secretary of State. So that's where we're at today. Now, why I'm here is because it's more turpitude bill. You know, I was glad to hear Eddie Cook talk in. That's my friend down there in the legislature, and we work very tirelessly and hard together to get these things done. And I will tell you, the bill that he was talking about, I don't think anybody knows how close it came to not passing. And it passed at 11:59 on the very last day of the legislative session. It was the very last bill that Speaker Hubbard presided over and watched. And I want y'all, if y'all see Representative Chris England, need to thank him. Because he ran down in the middle of this floor, in the middle of 105 legislators that have bills pending, and he said, you know what, my bill is more important than your bills. And about 300 bills didn't pass that year. His did at 11:59 because he stood in the well screaming and yelling for Speaker Hubbard to recognize him, and he did. And so that bill passed unanimously. Now the bill, the moral turpitude bill, I think it's important to recognize the history of this bill because there's so many representatives throughout the years that have tried to accomplish this as far as getting a list of moral turpitude crimes. From Representative McClammy to just countless others. I think Representative Knight even worked tirelessly way before my time on different people. Representative Mike Jones was able every year to get this thing through the House. It passed the House 105-0 every time. And it stalled in the Senate. Congressman, you understand that. How things stall in the Senate. But that's how things go. This time it passed unanimously, both houses. Bipartisan bill, unanimous. I think it got one vote against, and that was because it didn't go far enough, and I fully understand that you don't agree with the list, I think it goes far enough. But I'm a believer that just like the march from here to Montgomery, you got there one step at a time. And this is a great step toward Montgomery because this sets a list of more turpitude crimes. No longer is it up to the three people in each county, one appointed by the governor, one appointed by the auditor, and one appointed by the Ag Commission. They're all three political appointees in each one of the 67 different counties. So that's where we're at with as far as those folks. So they no longer make that decision. I will tell you, just yesterday, I picked up the phone, it was a registrar, and they said, Brent, I don't see this crime on the list of more turpitude crimes. And I said, well, it's not. He said, I know what. I said, I'm going to stop right there. It doesn't really matter what you think. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is whether it's on that list. Is it on that list? And he said, no. And I said, that's the end of this conversation. We're moving on. That person registered to vote. And so I've gotten numerous calls on that, before this bill passed. And I will tell you, this bill does not go into effect till August 1. But I will tell you this, we've already established a registrar handbook that I've shared with Legal Services, I've shared with the ACLU, and I've got to get y'all an electronic copy because I have not got you a printed copy because we want to make sure the registrars have it first. But we sent out this that has all the codes. We've worked with AOC, we've gotten the codes I got a lot of questions about the code. What is this code? Is it some secret code? No, it's just a computer printout. The computer sends us whenever somebody is found guilty or pleads guilty of a crime, they will get notice. It's a code. It's like a little small code, and this book has the kind of the key to it. It says this crime means this. This code means murder 1. This crime means this. So that's why the code is there. So we want to take the thinking out of it for them. Okay, I know this is going to Facebook Live, and I'll probably get in trouble with Secretary Beal for saying this, but we want to make the registrars be able to think less. Okay, these are, and I don't mind sharing this with you. That we tried to get a bill last year to bring more accountability to the registrar's office, and it failed miserably. Okay, it failed miserably. And how many of y'all watched the movie Selma? Hopefully all of you have. It's a good movie. But as part of it, I think it was Lyndon Johnson was having a conversation with, I think it was Governor Wallace at the time. And Wallace said, President, they registrars, I got no control. And everybody laughed when I was watching the movie. And I said, you know what? He's right. I mean, he's absolutely right. Still today, we don't have any control. Nobody has any authority over registrars. If you look at the code, they're just this autonomous group of judicial officials that make decisions and make these interpretations. Now, I'll make you this promise. If you go into a registrar's office or bring a client in there and you're turned away and it's not a crime of turpitude, the next call outside of partner parole or at the same time, you call me and call me in our office, 334-242-7200. And I'm telling you that we do have the ability to remove registrars for cause. And we will remove registrars for cause if they are not following state law. Because that's a pretty simple thing for me to prove in front of a judge. And we've removed 2 registrars in the past 2 years. That's 2 more than have ever been removed in this entire state. And we plan on removing some more. So if we have registrars that are not doing their job, and you go into a registrar office, and they're not opening up the office. My son's in the back, Eli's sick, so I brought him. He loves civil rights. But we watched a documentary on the way over the top of people standing in lines for the registrar's office to open. That shouldn't be the case today. If y'all go to a registrar office and it's not open, please call that number. Please let me know. Because I would love to know so that I can document that and we can work towards removing people and getting people that want to open an office and work in an office. This is not a free job. It's an important role that you provide for the community and the county and the state. And there's nothing more important than opening that office and making sure people can register to vote every day. So you also have the ability to register to vote online. So you can actually, when a client is in your office, you can actually go on to a website and you can actually register to vote at alabamavotes.gov. You can fill it out online. Apparently that's not a very good partisan issue because we put voter registration online, made it easier than ever before, and broke all records for voter registration in the state. And we're excited about that because we want to make it easier for people to register. And it should not be difficult. And so, if y'all ever have any questions about a registrar office or why we're doing certain things, I hope y'all know that, and I know the pastor knows that Secretary Beal is always glad to come back to Selma, and he's always appreciative of coming here. And we want to make it easier for people to register to vote. And so, if y'all find it is difficult, call me. I don't know unless somebody lets me know. So don't assume that I do know, because I don't know everything. So, do you have any questions? Anything? Anybody have questions? Yes, sir.
Can you say that number for us again?
Yeah, 334-242-7200. I feel like an infomercial now. That's good. Any other questions? Any? So you went over there. Intern.
Thank you for being here today, Brent. You mentioned earlier that there were 3 officials that appointed, I guess, directors of registrar's office. Could you give us those 3 people again so we can clarify who they were?
Yeah, they don't appoint directors. They appoint the 3 registrars. So many people don't know this, but every county except for Jefferson County, because of its population size, the code is exempted. So 67 different counties have, or 66 counties, I just added an extra county to Alabama, 66 counties have 3 registrars. One appointed by the governor, one appointed by the ag commissioner, and one appointed by the auditor. So they are political appointees, based on, there's no requirement for that. They're just 3 people from the community to be appointed. So that's where we're at as of today. This is too easy in Selma. Y'all gotta ask more questions than that. Come on. Anything. Y'all can't tell me the Secretary of State hadn't done anything to have questions. Pastor, he had a lot to tell me last time he came.
Can you access the law itself online? Is there a way to get the actual language of the law online?
Yes,
The bill?
we do. It's actually, many people don't know this, but the whole Alabama Code is on the legislature website. It's a great resource just to view the code. It actually has the entire Constitution, which I'm not printing on my computer. But so you can do it on there. I will tell you one of the things we're working towards, and it's part of friendly collaboration. You know, whenever someone calls me, I'll consider things. I'm not anybody knows me. Secretary Merrill is not a no person. He will consider anything that you ask him to do. So one thing we're looking at doing is we're putting on our online voter registration, we're going to have that where you can click through it, and it'll actually have the law on there when you click through it. So just make it easier. We want people to have information.
So what's the address?
Yeah, so you just Google Alabama Legislature. It's like AlisonDB.legislature.something.
Okay.
So if you're on like a 1990s looking website, you're on the right one.
That's on the, okay. Thank you. Gotcha.
Thank you. My name's Dana Ellis from Birmingham. I have 2 questions. I have heard once that if somebody attempts to register to vote and they actually are not eligible, that's a crime as well. And is that correct? So if somebody just, especially with the new law, believes that they're a crime. So tell me what would happen if they did that.
Yeah, so I get that question a lot as far as that. First I'll tell you, I've never been made aware of any case where you ever went after somebody, and if I'm in role as attorney for the Secretary of State's office, it's my recommendation that we never go after anybody for that, because I don't think it's the right thing to do. Because some people don't know. And I have a lot of people that call me on this question, and I tell them, disclose what you know. Because if you put on that form, if you check, do you have a felony? Yes. Is the crime moral turpitude? Right, don't know.
Okay.
That's fine, but don't know. If they refuse to process your application because you don't know, tell them to call me. We'll clear it up for them.
Okay.
And
Well, especially with the new bill, somebody could be.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And we want to take the guesswork out of it. People don't know. And let me tell you something that's mentioned that nobody's mentioned. I don't think people know enough of. If you are denied the right to vote, your registrars that's not the end. They're not the end all be all. Okay, you actually have an appeal to your probate judge. Many people do not know that. You can actually appeal it to your probate judge. I know in Jefferson County it happens pretty regularly because Judge King will actually copy me on every one of them he grants. And he grants voting rights back pretty regularly. Let's say you had a crime, I got one last week where they had denied them the ability to register to vote because of crime moral turpitude. It was on the list, and Judge King said, you know what, you waited 15 years to assert that. That's a little too late. So I'm going to give you voting rights back. So he said they need to register. So.
Good. Second question, and I apologize because it's a little off topic.
That's
But
all
I
right.
wanted to be sure I understood what you said. The state of Alabama will not comply with the commission's request for our voter information.
Right. I don't mind going into that deeply.
I'm sorry to y'all.
No, I think it's a pretty important topic. I think that we've been getting a lot of calls about it, and I can't stop answering my phone. But well, we're glad you did. I would say I always love to hear what people think, and because it's just nice to hear. Sometimes when you're in the Montgomery bubble, you kind of lose your way of thinking. But we're not. There's nothing in the code section that allows us to even give them the voter list. There's nothing in there. Now, that being said, I will preface that by saying, anybody, like if you call me and said, Brent, I'd like the voting list for Montgomery County, Mobile County, whatever, I would tell you it's a penny a name. And you have to write me a check, and now you would not get social security numbers, driver license number, any of that stuff. You'd get name, address, the elections you voted in, and that's it. I mean, that's all you get. So I will tell you, in this letter to them, it says, if you want to send us a check for $33,000 to the state of Alabama, we will look at processing that. Now, how many of y'all think that we're going to get a check for $33,000 to the state of Alabama? Not likely.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank y'all for having me.
We're actually exactly on time with this program, which is always an accomplishment, so I'm glad to see that. The next presenter we have is Beal from the ACLU in Alabama. Brock is a staff attorney with the ACLU. He's worked very closely at their office in the last 2 months, and we're going to have him come up and talk about more of the nuts and bolts of this restoration process at this point.